What if I told you that many people who talk about Jesus would not follow him if he were here today? Because following Jesus is expensive. It costs your ego, your comfort, your certainties. Jesus spoke about love, forgiveness, sacrifice. He spoke about helping the poor, embracing the rejected, loving even your enemies. He didn't just preach these things, he lived them. But today, his name is often used for something very different: judgment, division, exclusion, and sometimes even hate. So we need to ask an uncomfortable question. Did people change his message, or did they simply choose not to follow it? Because when you look at the historical understanding of Jesus, explored by scholars like The Historical Figure of Jesus and Jesus, a Revolutionary Biography, you don't find a man obsessed with power or control. You find someone radically committed to compassion, to justice, to inner transformation. Jesus didn't create a system of domination, he challenged it. But history shows us something important. When faith becomes power, it changes. As described in A History of Christianity, Christianity transformed dramatically when it became tied to political structures. The message of a humble man became part of empires. And from that moment on, the risk of distortion began. Because power doesn't ask, "What is true?" It asks, "What is useful?" And sometimes, Jesus became useful. Useful to control, useful to justify, useful to dominate. And that paradox didn't stay in the past. It is still here. Without generalizing, there are Christian leaders today in different traditions, including Catholic and Orthodox contexts, who use religion to promote division and even hostility toward minorities. And often, they justify it using passages from the Old Testament, even when those interpretations stand in direct contradiction to what Jesus taught. Jesus reached out to the marginalized, to the rejected, to those society wanted to ignore. But today, there are voices doing the opposite. Jesus fed the poor, but now you hear people saying, everyone should take care of themselves. Jesus taught compassion, but selfishness is often defended as if it were strength. Writers like The Kingdom of God is Within You argued that this contradiction has existed for centuries, that many who claim to follow Christ have moved away from his actual teachings. But maybe the problem isn't just leaders. Maybe it's us. Because the truth is, people don't follow Jesus not because they don't understand him, but because following him requires change. Real change. It means questioning your behavior, letting go of convictions that hurt others, acting with courage, refusing to ignore injustice. And that is costly. Following Jesus means confronting your ego. And many people would rather protect their ego than face the truth. They would rather keep their habits, their judgments, their comforts. So instead, they create a version of Jesus that demands nothing, a version that agrees with them, that validates them, that asks for no transformation. And this is where self-deception begins. There is a phrase many Christians use, accept Jesus. But what does that really mean? Does it mean saying the words and believing everything is fine? Or does it mean accepting what he actually taught and living it? Because to truly accept Jesus is to accept his way of living. It means practicing love when it's difficult, forgiving when it hurts, helping when it costs you something. Anything less than that is not acceptance. It is reinterpretation. It is self-deception. Because deep down, people know what he taught. They just choose not to follow it. Jesus was not just a religious figure. He was a model of what a human being could be. Radical love, moral courage, truth without compromise. And maybe that's exactly why so many people pretend not to see it. So in the end, the real question is not, do you believe in Jesus? The real question is, are you willing to live like him? Because talking about Jesus is easy. Becoming someone like him is not. And maybe the world doesn't need more people talking about Christ. Maybe it needs more people who actually live like him.